Hello, everybody, and thank you for checking us out. My name is Robby Incimikoski, soon to be hosting a local Pittsburgh podcast, hyper local, I should say, to all the issues relevant here in the city of Pittsburgh, affecting you, the voters, the residents, covering the news issues, topics of the day, all that kind of good stuff. We need a name for it at some point in time, so maybe those of you checking all this out can help us with a name. But first of all, I'd like to thank the folks at Rhino Production here in Center Township for hosting us for this interview that we are going to serve to the people in District 2 in the city of Pittsburgh. And I'm pleased to be joined by our first guest. Her name is Amanda Neatrour. Actually, I lied. You're our second guest. Here in order, we interviewed Aaron Coper, who's run on the Republican side. Amanda is running on the Democratic side of the ticket as a write-in candidate, Neatrour. Neatrour. Amanda Neatrour is her name. She's a total pro. You're very responsive. You're a total professional with how you go about things. And I'm thankful you're able to come out here and talk to us, Amanda. So thank you very much.
Oh, pleasure is mine. And I'm honestly grateful to you for making sure that the voters in District 2 get the information they need, because we need informed voters.
And that's a great point. So let's talk a little bit. And here, face me. I just we're two human beings talking.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because think about it. When voters go into the booth, right, they see Amanda. Well, I guess they're not going to see your name in the ballot. We'll talk about that in a second. But they know who you are, and they want to vote for you, right?
Yes.
Like, they might see a yard sign, and they might see a letter next to your name. Why do we at the local level need to know who our candidates are? Why is that important to you?
Because when voters are informed, they can choose people who they feel will represent their interests. I think it's important to not just know, right, your party affiliation. That does say something, but more importantly, who are you? What are your core values, right? Why are you running? And what do you bring to the table that qualifies you for the job?
Right.
And I think that everybody should have the opportunity to know those basics.
Right.
And I'll just tell you, at the short of it, I live in Sheridan. I'm a homeowner. I'm a mom to 2 young children. I'm a caregiver to my mother who has Alzheimer's. I'm a business owner, and I'm a facilitator. I bring people together, and that is why I'm running, because I think that we deserve to have someone with that experience, with those credentials, but more importantly, who give a darn about the voters.
So why did you take your mom in? You have 2, your kids are 5 and 3, is that right?
That's correct.
And your husband,
yes.
what's your husband's name?
His name is Russell.
And what does he do for a living?
So my husband is a certified welding inspector and welder. He's an aluminum specialist. He's pretty awesome. Right now, he's doing work renovating homes and doing specialty projects for people.
Okay.
And up until this summer, he was actually a member of the United Steelworkers until the company he worked for, McKees Rocks, got sold.
Okay. So you and your husband took your mom in. Your mom lives with you, and she has Alzheimer's.
Yes.
Look, there's the obvious reason why she's your mom. We know that. But what kind of responsibility do you feel like in caring for your mom, and how much does Russell, obviously welcome that as your husband?
Oh,
'Cause that can be a complicated situation for people. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
hard.
For families. Yeah.
It's very hard. I tell people it's the hardest.
So what's it like dealing with that?
I mean, it's the hardest bleeping thing I've ever done in my entire life, right?
Yeah.
However, first of all, my husband's amazing.
Right.
Just celebrated 10-year anniversary a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations, Russell. Well done, my man.
And when we got the call from my mom's friend that something was wrong, I mean, he didn't skip a beat. He said, go get her.
Right.
So it was myself and my then 5-month-old drove down to get my mom.
Your first kid or your second kid?
Second one.
Okay.
Second one.
So you had a newborn when,
Yeah.
so you had a 2-year-old and a 5-month-old.
That's right.
When you took your mom in.
That's right.
What's that like at your house? What were those days like? I know it's not easy, and I'm not making light of the situation.
No, of course.
Caring for a mom with Alzheimer's, that's not easy.
No,
How do you handle
it's
it?
not. And actually, I appreciate this because a lot of my volunteer work is with the Alzheimer's Association.
Okay, yeah.
Because caregivers are not talked about enough, and the impact on families. And so, no, it was very hard. I spent about 6 months just focusing on what I say baselining my family. So getting us to a point where we could once again function.
Right.
It was very stressful, and anyone who knows about dementia knows that stress really exacerbates it.
Okay.
And of course, anybody who's a parent out there knows how hard it is already with a toddler and an infant. So you put all that together. My husband is an incredible person. He's a wonderful partner. He dove right in. And I'm grateful to the fact that he worked for a company at the time that supported him. Also, I worked for myself.
Right.
And that made a big difference.
Okay.
I was able to have the flexibility to get my mom to the specialist, get her diagnosed, take care of my kids. I'll be honest, if I didn't work for myself, it would have been a lot more difficult.
So, you raise an interesting point here, just in terms of relatability, okay? Your husband's a welder. You run a consulting firm. You live normal lives just like the rest of us
That's
do.
right.
I live in District 3. I cannot vote for you, any of the candidates on that side. But it's important to work with people on both sides of the aisle. And Aaron just crossed paths in this interview, and you both gave each other a nice greeting. You said, "Hey, you smell good," and like that. But that's interesting because a lot of people think like, and I really mean this, like a lot of people think like you guys hate each other, you can't stand each other. You have to be able to work with the other side of the aisle and work with people on issues that directly impact residents if they're going to take you seriously and if you're going to have credibility. Okay. So why is it important to you to work with people regardless of what their political affiliation is or somebody has a different view on something?
I have literally spent a career and built a business on seeing people first. My entire
How's that?
business.
How'd you do that? What's your business? Tell me about your
Yeah,
business.
so I am the owner of Lewis Neatrour Group. We are a full-service consulting firm. I am a certified IFC coach, which means I coach leaders.
Right.
I actually specialize in high-level leadership. I work with
You'll never coach me. I'm not a high level leader, just so you know. Go ahead.
I work with organizations
Yeah.
to help them be intentional about. First of all, you have to have a core value, a core mission.
Right.
And then the decisions that you make should be intentional about leading from that mission and those values, and then being intentional about the impact it has on your team, your employees, volunteers, and the people that you serve. And that's what I specialize in.
Why are you running for city council? What motivated you to do it?
Because quite frankly, not only do I have the ability to see people as people first, I think that it is extremely important. And I don't think that in politics broadly, we have enough leaders who understand that human beings and the human experience is central, not power, not the position, but serving people. I am a person who loves to serve. It's important to me. It would be an honor to serve, but most importantly, we care. Too many politicians care too much about what neighborhood you're from, how long you lived there, what you do for a living, whether or not you agreed with every single thing they do,
Right.
and there's not enough accountability.
Right.
And we need to bring that back. And I want City Hall to, again, focus and center on every single person, no matter who they are, especially the people who are the most vulnerable.
So when you talk about issues that affect residents of District 2, what issues can you help residents with? Like specifically, what specific issues do you think you can lend a hand and why they should vote for you and how you can serve them?
Yeah, thank you for that. So first of all, we talk about public safety, right? We know that crime is an issue, and we need someone who's like a holistic approach to that. So in addition to that, we also need resources for our youth, and we need safe streets. I live in a neighborhood where our children do not even have safe, accessible routes to walk to school.
And you mean safe in terms of being hazards on the road or
Yeah.
safe crime safety? Or what do you mean?
Well, all the above, but for now, just because I literally did a walking tour yesterday of the routes that kids
Where
take.
were you?
In Sheridan.
Okay.
We were with the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, leadership from Langley, and residents were walking with them to cover the routes that the kids walk. There's crumbling sidewalks or non-existent sidewalks or landslides have covered sidewalks that kids take to get to school. Traffic calming remains a major issue.
Okay.
I bring all this up because it's your city council person, and whether or not they raise the issue, fight for the resources and fight to prioritize certain neighborhoods in your district that gets the money and gets the resources.
You are a write-in candidate.
Yes.
Why is that? And how can people vote for you if they're watching and say, "Hey, I like Amanda Neatrour, and I want to vote for her"? How do they do that?
Yeah, so
And
when
how'd you end up as a write-in candidate?
No, thank you for that question.
Yeah.
And so when I talk about being human-centered and focusing on serving versus power, unfortunately, in Allegheny County, we have some broad issues with folks who have been in the game for a long time trying to concentrate power. And one of the ways that they've done that is by creating rules and engaging in political tactics that, though legal, I find to be very tacky and I think actually disenfranchise the voters. So, for instance, with me, I had a situation where a wife was, tending to the kids. The husband wrote in like the street name in the city, but the wife signed her own petition.
Okay.
Her petition line didn't count
Okay.
because
Gotcha.
that's not allowed. But the thing is that I successfully defended several of signatures, and if I had gotten 2 more signed affidavits, I'd be on the ballot.
Yeah. Okay. So, and that's that's not my place to get into that kind of thing. I have nothing to do with that. But what we can do is talk about your candidacy
Yes.
and why people why people should get to want to get to know you. So we talked about your firm. You have your MBA. You have your two kids. What boy and a girl? What do you?
Two boys.
Two boys.
I'm a boy mom.
Oh yeah. What's that like?
They
beat each other up yet?
I'm trying to get used to the beating up. It's hard.
Right.
I tell you what, though, the little one gives about as good as he gets. So.
Mm-hmm. I could imagine what that's like. I have a little brother myself. We're almost 11 years apart, but yeah, we beat the daylights out of each other as kids growing up, and I can't imagine what that's like for you. You were Mrs. Pittsburgh, is that right? Tell me about that.
Yes, I was Mrs. Pittsburgh 2023, 2024, and I'm actually the reigning Mrs. Pennsylvania.
Congratulations.
American. Thank you.
How'd you get into that?
So pageantry, basically, someone
You just say,
dared
I'm
me.
beautiful, look at me, I'm going to do it. Is that what you did?
Okay, this is actually, I think, going to make people laugh, but...
Well, that's what we want them to do. We wanted to make them laugh a
I
little
was
bit.
like the anti-pageant person. I was like, no, pageantry is not for me. They're like vapid and all they care about other look. Like, I was like not that person.
Right.
And there was an organization I was interested in joining, and the president at that organization had overheard a fraternity was recruiting contestants, and they gave scholarship money.
Okay.
And she said to me, you should try to win this. And I literally did it just because I was like interested in that organization.
And here you are.
And I was like, this is hard, and it's hard work, and it takes confidence, and it takes discipline, and also it's fun. Right. I'm not gonna lie. I like to dress up. I like to wear, beautiful clothes, and being a mom, being a caregiver, being a business owner, you don't get to take that time for yourself and invest in yourself. And also, beauty queens, with the crown, you have the power to do good in the world. And I'm really proud of raising awareness on the needs of caregivers, not just at the state level, but nationally and internationally as well, because I am Mrs. Pennsylvania.
If people step into the voting booth, they have Kim Salinetro, they have Aaron Koper. Well, I guess the primary is going to be you and Kim, really. So Aaron's irrelevant to the race as it relates to that. Why should people vote for you?
Yes. So first of all, I'm running because the community asked me to. That's actually happened.
Really?
Yes.
How?
When
you say the community, who's the community?
So there was a meet and greet scheduled.
Okay.
The day after I went to court, and it was a great discussion. And I was honest with them. I said, "Listen, I got kicked off the ballot. I can only run as a write-in, but it's going to have to be a community effort." There were 15 people there, and they self-organized and said, "Listen, we will help you."
Right.
That is why I'm running.
Right.
I had a gentleman in my neighborhood who said to me, "Don't give up on us."
In a minute or less, why do you think they came to you and said that? What qualities do you have that make people say, and don't give me political speech.
No.
Talk to me like a human being.
Absolutely.
What there's a reason people come to you, and I could see it. Like you're a
I'm
pro.
authentic.
You're a pro, right? And you know what? I might disagree with you on policy, but you know what? I can say, you know what? I've had personal experience with Amanda, and I know she's a pro, and I know she cares. So it's obviously a quality about you that made people say that. What is it? Less than a minute.
Yes, I'm authentic. I actually listen, and I care. I deeply care, and people can see that. And they also know that I'm smart. They know that I'm very smart.
Right.
They know I also have the experience. And at the end of the day, people just want a leader who will do right by them, and people believe that I will.
You are an impressive person.
Thank you.
That's what so here's what I think about, right? So like we all have our voting preferences, right?
Yes.
Like think about it, right? Everybody does.
Yes.
You might be a Republican, you're a Democrat, that's very public, right? So like I might disagree with you on policy, but I could say, you know what, ultimately she gives a rat's ass.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like how can that help bring a community together? Again,
Because
quick,
I
we're
have a
winding down on time. But
responsibility to be there for everybody. And like I said, I'm a facilitator. I listen to you. I listen to you. What are the things that we all care about? And that is what I focus on as a leader.
When you, final thing, people want to vote for you on the website. If people want to support you, how can they do it?
Yes, so Amanda4PGH, that's Amanda, FORPGH.com. That's my website. I'm on social media. And again, when you get your ballots in the mail or you go to the voting booth, write in Amanda Neatrour.
There it is. Amanda Neatrour running for City Council, District 2 in the city of Pittsburgh. Aaron, say goodbye to everybody. Or Aaron, Amanda, Kim, everybody, I'm sorry.
okay.
Amanda Neatrour, she's fantastic.